Good morning, dear students. Today, in this series of lectures, we are going to take up Oscar Wilde's story, The Model Millionaire, Adarsh Lakpati, The Model Millionaire. Oscar Wilde was an Irish poet and playwright. His father, Sir William Wilde, was a famous eye and ear specialist. In 1871, when he was just 17, he won as entrance scholarship to Trinity College Dublin. There he remained for 3 years and fell under the spell of Professor Murphy, a great scholar of Greek literature and culture. He exercised a very considerable influence on Oscar's life. In 1874, Oscar went to Oxford. He made an impression on Oxford by winning many academic distinctions. Here, he also came under the influence of John Ruskin and Walter Pater. In 1876, Wilde began to write poetry seriously and contributed a number of poems to literary magazines. In his last year at Oxford, he won the Newdigate Prize for his poem called Ravenna. Early in 1880, Oscar Wilde wrote his first play, Vera, which could not be performed on London stage. Then he published his collected poems. Oscar Wilde married Miss Constance Mary Lloyd, the daughter of a well known Irish barrister, on May 29, 1884, and settled down in Tite Street. In 1887, he was appointed the editor of a monthly magazine entitled The Women's World. He resigned this job 2 years later. In 1891, he produced a novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, which possessed literary brilliance but earned the bitter disapproval of critics because of its alleged immorality. The publication of his play, Lady Windermere's Fan, 1892, established him as one of the leading dramatists of the English stage. His another play, The Importance of Being Earnest, rightly achieved an immense success by its wit and technical success. Wilde's morals became a target of criticism among friends and acquaintances, and he was convicted under the provisions of the criminal law and was sentenced to 2 years rigorous imprisonment. On his release on May 19, 1897, he left for France and never returned to England. His mother died in 1896 and his wife in 1898. In May 1899, he shifted to Paris. He began to suffer from recurrent headaches, and on November 30, 1900, he died. In 1909, his remains were removed to the French National Cemetery of Père Lachaise. The present story, The Model Millionaire, introduces a character of unpredictable temperament, a millionaire baron deeply interested in the arts whose unexpected act of generosity enables a struggling young man to marry the woman he loves. The story moves rapidly to the the moment which reveals the baron as model millionaire. There was a very good looking young man named Hui Hui Erskine. He was popular and kind. He stopped working and lived on money given to him by an old aunt. He loved a girl named Laura Merton, the daughter of a retired colonel. The colonel the colonel would only allow them to get married if he had 10,000 pounds of his own. One day, he visited his friend Alan Trevor, who was a painter. When he came, Alan was painting a model. The model was Beggar Man. He felt sorry for the model, so he gave him a sovereign, a coin. Later that night, who met Ellen at Pellet Club. They had a mutual talk. We found out from Ellen that the model was actually not a beggar man, but a millionaire named Baron Hosberg. We went home unhappily, whereas Ellen laughed loudly. The next morning, a messenger from Baron Hausberg came and brought a letter to Hui. The letter contained a check for £10,000, which was a wedding present to Hui Erskine and Laura Merton from Baron Hausberg. On the day of marriage, Alan Trevor was the best man, and the Baron made a speech at the wedding breakfast. Ellen said, millionaire models are rare enough, but model millionaires are rarer still. A wonderful story, dear students. Now, you have to attempt a few questions on this story. In this story, the author says ironically that physical charm or beauty is useless if one is not prosperous. First important thing is wealth, not physical beauty. If one has wealth, his ugliness is covered by his wealth. People regard and honor him owing to or due to his prosperity. A poor but charming fellow has no right to enjoy the life. Only rich and prosperous people have a special right for romance. Because in modern life, love and romance can't go without solid financial background. A person who has no money and is unemployed should not think about love and romance because he is not proper suitor for them. The poor should be practical in life, not a daydreamer, not a daydreamer or lost in false imaginations. He should not dream those things which are not possible for him because of his poverty. Therefore, he should be neutral without interest. If he takes interest in worldly pleasures, love, and romance, it will take him towards despondency because he wouldn't be able to achieve them without money. To be without interest or to be tasteless will be beneficial for him. To be handsome is not useful for a person if he has no permanent income source of income. To be employed with regular income is much more important and beneficial for a person than his smart and handsome physique. He may get love and romance automatically on having a solid financial ground. That's all for today and have a nice day.